You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Let's discover hardcover month, but it's this enough so you can know what's up in the hood.
My name is Asia Thornton.
My name is Javon McFadden.
My name is Jose.
Nicholas.
My name is Angelo.
Fabian.
The part of Chicago I live in is the north side.
I live in the south side.
On the far south side.
I live in the south side, the deep south.
I live in the northwest side of Chicago, Reese Park area.
I think the worst part of living in Chicago is the gang violence and the lack of education.
The worst part about it is it's too many like gang bangers and like a lot of drug violence going on, like drugs.
The worst part about living in Chicago is these street gangs. You gotta be careful. You might get hit by a stray bullet.
The worst part of living in Chicago is not knowing when you're gonna die because people shoot too much.
The worst part about living in Chicago is the number of stereotypes placed on us just from being from here.
The violence is shootings every day.
There is a lot of violence in my neighborhood. It was on the homicide track for like 2 weeks, and it stopped recently because there's been a lot of police officers around my area now, so it calmed down.
The best part about living in Chicago is the number of tourist attractions and that you could do a lot of things no matter what day it is.
The sights downtown.
The best part is we have a lot of tourists, a lot of new places building up. We have a lot of art. We have a lot of museums for our history.
The best part is that there's a lot of tourist attractions and it's a lot of diverse races.
The best part about living in the north side is I would say playing basketball up here.
Best part about living in Chicago is experiencing all the cultures and getting to travel all over the city and downtown. I like all Chicago.
My earliest Chicago memory would be going to the park with my friends all the time. You know, we'd go to the camps there and like play and like have fun.
My earliest Chicago memory is, Wednesday I went to Reggae Fest and I seen a couple people there and I had fun.
One of my earliest Chicago memories is, I have about 3. So one is going to the library in the summer and going to the zoo and going to the aquarium and the museums.
People assume, since I'm from Chicago, that either I'm a gangbanger or that I sell drugs, or like we're all the same. Like we all do the same things. Like like steal, shoot people, and it just makes me sad.
People think, we're all crazy and like it's not fair, It's like saying I'm from Detroit and I'm not.
Sometimes, because I'm from Chicago, some people feel like I'm a gangbanger or like they think wrong of me because I'm Latino. They think I'm a thief, or they criticize you because the way you look.
They assume that if you aren't from Chicago, you're a bad person because our city is very violent.
I hear like we're ignorant, have poor style, lots of violence. It's typical of the things I hear. People assume that I'm country, that I don't have any home training, I lack good education. They assume like all my brothers are gangbangers.
They assume the worst because Hispanics, they be like, oh, they're gonna steal something, or yeah.
I think the best place to eat at Chicago is Illuminati's Pizza.
Jimmy's.
My favorite place to eat is Jimmy's.
Giordano's, but I don't know any place. Oh no, I love Home of the Hoagie.
I like Red Robin's. I don't know why, I just like their burgers.
cry for help. We look at violence like we stealing and killing and shit. We taking stuff from each other, and ain't nobody really trying to work for nothing. We working by grinding. We still kill. That's just the way of life now.
Shootings in Chicago are up 176%, with 47 shootings in the first 5 days of 2016 compared to last year's 17 shootings, say police.
Revenge. Like God said, man, forgiveness. Ain't nobody got no forgiveness out here, so you feel me? They feel like motherfucker took their homie, they gotta go back and take somebody else homie. And then it's gonna, you feel me, it's a cycle. It's gonna go on for that.
Man, I'm gonna give y'all rules to the streets in Chicago, man. One of my homies said, rule number 1, streets ain't safe, don't be dumb, wake up and get money and guns. The ops ain't no none, but if they catch you, they got one. Slugs hit your back, X hit your front.
That ain't gonna stop, like, it's bogus. You can't stop something that's gonna keep going on from generation to generation.
I have personally been affected by violence. I've been just traumatized, people getting shot in front of me, people getting shot next to me, behind me.
Violence is taking over Chicago. That's why our murder rate is so high. So many people think it's cool, and then like the people, that's gang members that try to get out that life and stuff, people tell them like, why? Like, we your real friends. We the only people you got. We done did so much for you when you was in the gang, so why leave now? And people that's not in gangs, they get affected by it because they might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. They can't help where they live. They can't help where they gotta go to school.
There's a lot of anger built up inside of people, and I think they take to the streets and find that it's okay to kill people when it's not. I grew up in a neighborhood where there was a lot of gang affiliation going on, and I thought it was cool to do the same thing. And what they got me was, they killed my brother. It kind of affected me a lot, and I wanted to go through violence too, but I knew that wasn't the way up.
The violence will
never stop, personally.
I can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's the people. It's the people in Chicago. They gotta lead. Somebody gotta lead the path to show people in Chicago the right way to do it, not just kill.
It's sad. Like, we got babies getting killed every day. We got the babies dying quicker than the elders, and it's just the world backwards. Like, if I could change it, I'm trying to finish school, probably open up a seminar to help young men and women try to better themselves, second chances, third chances, and just help us get it together, try to be an inspiration to Chicago.
Just see that video. Hey, he talking about that video, motherfucker, got giant group. Hey, we got smoke shit. We don't let that be true. Hey, he talking about, we got everything.
My neighborhood has its ups and downs like any other neighborhood, but my neighborhood is in particular. I'm from Humboldt Park. See, in my neighborhood, the ups are that people take care of their property, they do everything they can to help out the young people, but the bad things are there's a lot of gang activity. There's a lot of drug sales. I also see young teens there that get involved with the younger children, and they go to like the Boys and Girls Club to help them out. And they also, help clean up the neighborhood from time to time. Where I used to live, before I used to live in Humboldt Park, I lived far, like on Noble Street. And over there, it was really quiet. Everybody knew everybody. It was kind of like a small town, in a big city. But when I moved to Humboldt Park, all that had to change because I was like, okay, all these people over here are pushing me around. Well, it's time to get tough, and it's time to earn my respect. Well, there's a lot of empty lots in the neighborhood. Like, every other house, there's an empty lot, and that's kind of a sore eye to people, and that makes the neighborhood like look bad because it's like, okay, there's 2 houses, nice green lawns and everything, and then there's an empty lot, muddy. Sometimes cars are parked there. Things that could be done to improve a neighborhood are more police patrol, and like for the school, there could be like more security to secure the kids and more teacher-student involvement. Because what I noticed is there's a lot of kids that they're dropping out because the teachers aren't helping them out, and well, the teachers should start relating to them and show them there's more potential out there for them than just dropping out, having kids, and doing things in the streets instead of having a good job. Well, my free time, I usually spend it either in Humboldt Park playing football with my friends, or I'll just go chill at a friend's house in different neighborhoods, or I'm here at work and see TVN. Well, my haircut, I go to Sports Cuts or Luquillos, but basically I go to Sports Cuts because they cut your hair there, they could do your eyebrows, and they also braid your hair there, and that's one of the best places I go to braid my hair. And it's just not a place to get your hair cut, it's also a place to like communicate with everybody and find out what's been happening in the neighborhood. My neighborhood, there's a lot of African Americans and Puerto Ricans, and like economically, there's a lot of middle class and a lot of welfare people that live there. Education-wise, there's a high dropout rate. Like the majority of them are dropouts, but like certain ones exceeded that level and are in college, and they're like bankers, accountants for bread companies like Ganella, and different things like that. Well, the flags, I know they're put up maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure when, but I know they're 50-foot flagpoles that are between Western and California, and they represent El Paso Boricua, and that is basically all of Division Street between Western California. There's a lot of Puerto Rican influence. Like when it comes to June, when the Puerto Rican Festival happens, everybody gets together. It's not just for Puerto Ricans. There's blacks, there's Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, there's even Asians that go to it. Everybody goes there just to have a good time, to have good food. There's a lot of Caucasians moving in, and the Puerto Ricans and African Americans don't really like that because everybody's used to everybody. And now there's like a majority of Caucasians moving into the condos that were once empty lots, and well, that's just kind of like, it's kind of weird because you usually think, oh, Humboldt Park is bad, and now it's turning kind of Caucasian-ish, but really it's not, because there's not that many Caucasians there, and it will always be Humboldt Park. It will always be a Puerto Rican African American neighborhood. That will never change.
Hey everyone, we live in Albany Park, which is on the northwest side of Chicago. Did you know it used to be a farming community before it became the Albany Park we now know and love? After the 1970s, Albany Park became a landing zone for many different groups of immigrants from Asia to Latin America. Today, Albany Park community claims the most Filipino, Korean, Middle Eastern, and Guatemalan immigrants in Chicago. Now, Albany Park is one of the most diverse hoods in the city. That means good food, interesting people, and a great place to live.
I've been here the last 10 years, and it's a nice neighborhood, It's a large district. As I said, we go from the north end of Devon down to the south end of Belmont, from Cicero on the west to the river on the east.
Marie's has been here since 1940.
This is the only Cambodian museum that we have in the United States. So that makes this place pretty special, that there's only one, and it's here in Chicago, and best yet, it's in Albany.
I think that World Relief has had a big impact on the Albany Park neighborhood by contributing to the diversity of the neighborhood.
42 years I lived in this area.
What do you like about the neighborhood?
I love the multi-ethnic group of people.
There's an old saying I know about Roosevelt High School, because it's been around for a long time. And it used to be said that you can see the world in a block, which is the length of your school. It's a block long. You can see the world in a block. And it sounds like it hasn't changed.
So Albany Park is, based on the last census, is the 4th most diverse zip code in the United States.
How the changes you witnessed since you've been here?
Changes, okay, along Lawrence Avenue when I first moved in was mostly Jewish. A lot of Jewish stores, you know, and meat markets and delis and whatnot. And now it's almost a heavy Korean, it's heavy, you know, Arabic and that, and I think it's really changed the whole area.
We're here at Hebrew Elementary School looking at their exhibits. They interview different families about their experience at Albany Park. Doing the different exhibits helped us gain a better understanding from the different families and the diverse cultures about coming to America.
We learned about the reasons why the family moved to America and why did they like living in Chicago.
Mi nombre es Anderson Gómez. Soy
Our services are specifically for refugees and immigrants, so all of our programs are focused on serving people that are very new to the United States and helping them adjust to life in their new community, which is here in Chicago.
High school teacher, 60, I'm with 5%.
But what are some of your initial reactions, or maybe even some things that you were thinking about before you even came to the museum today? What the Buddhist priest or the Buddhist monk actually in Cambodia also takes that vow of poverty. So everything that they have is actually given to them. And every day they go out and they actually ask for alms. They actually ask for food or donations or clothing. So, and the Cambodians give them food because they believe that this will make sure that they have a better afterlife. That it will ensure that they have a good life after their life.
Disadvantages of Albany Park community.
Disadvantages? Well, it's probably because a lot of people don't communicate with one another. They speak different languages, you know, Spanish, Arabic, or whatever, and they're very clannish. They stick together and they don't talk to other people too much. So you have to go out and, you know, be nice to them, say hello to them, talk to them.
I am a Chicago police officer, and I've always worked in the Albany Park neighborhood here in the 17th district. Up here in the Albany Park neighborhood, we are so ethnically diverse that our gangs are ethnically diverse. So they range from, you know, having, you know, whites, blacks, Hispanics. They're all mixed in one gang, and they fight amongst each other.
I think that people in the neighborhood can acknowledge the wealth of diversity that we have in the neighborhood, that they can acknowledge that that's a great strength. I think that on an individual basis, community members one-on-one can seek out people that are different from themselves, that have different backgrounds, that might have come from a different country and a different culture, and just be open to trying to get to know people from different countries and different backgrounds so that we can have a better understanding amongst people.
And I think in any community, if the residents are always proactive in the community and they're involved with their community through through their civic organizations and through their they work together with the police in their community, and they work together with the schools and the churches. That always makes for a very strong community. To be a good neighbor, I think being a good neighbor is very important, and that's something about Albany Park that has happened for generations.
What can the residents do to help the community prevent gang violence?
So if people would just share information with us, you know, whether they want to leave their name or be anonymous, just I think that's number one right now.
During the journey of getting to know Albany Park, everyone have learned something new and experienced a different culture. We learned things about Albany Park we didn't know before. We learned that it's many diverse ethnicities surrounding our community. No matter where you are in Albany Park, you will come across a different race. We also learned that everyone has a story and everyone struggled at one point of their life to get where they are now. The stories we heard from the people we interviewed changed some of us as individuals. We recognize that in order for one culture to respect another culture, they have to respect them as well. We also got to learn more about the negative side of Albany Park as well. If gang violence decreased, Albany Park would be a much safer and more fun neighborhood to live in. Overall, the residents of Albany Park love their community and are committed to improving it. We hope you enjoyed the video.
My visions of peace is when a mother and a child get along. My visions of peace is when a loved one loves you back. Peace does not steal. Peace does not hate you. Peace does not hurt you. Peace doesn't cheat on you. Why are we hating each other? We all are the same species. We all come from the same earth. Peace comes from the kindness of our heart. If we're all the same, then why are we doing all those things? Hating, stealing, cheating. We should grow stronger as a human race. We should also love each other and love ourselves most. This is where I think my vision of peace is.
Well, I see peace as another word for love and care, because you can't have peace with someone without those two words. So I would say that's just another word for those two. Because to have peace with someone means to have care, and to have care means you love. You can't love without those two. So that's my word. That's my definition of peace. I'm sticking with it. It's there. That's all I gotta say.
My vision of peace is when people could walk down the street, not having to worry about looking over their shoulder or getting worried about getting into a fight. My vision of peace is summertime Chicago, like, where things don't get all crazy. Like, also, another vision of peace of mine is when we don't have single mothers and teen girls getting pregnant and their fathers just walking out on them. They have to raise a child by themselves. Peace to me is when the government helps out, helps them with housing, but gives it to them, not take it away from them. Also, peace is when we don't have to worry about people living off checks, day by day, just living with whatever they got on minimum wage, when we know that everything we buy is going up, all the prices going up, our minimum wage is staying the same. Just my vision, another thing, peace is just not having to worry about so much in life. Yeah, I mean, nothing's easy, but it shouldn't be this hard either.
My vision of peace is for all the Chicago communities that have a peace treaty, so all the unnecessary killings and violence can stop. So all the youth now can grow up in the park, enjoy the weather, or even sit on their front porch. Besides the violence, the rudeness of my generation and the generation before mine, to have respect for their elders, and that's it.
My vision of peace is
going out with my tagging crew, going up, hitting up billboards, train tracks, main streets, all the things that we do to get a type of crew out there. And tattoos. I fell in love with tattoos since the first time I got one. Spray paint cans the first time I touched one. It's just my form of meditation when I get either one. Just getting a tattoo and just hearing the machine, it sends a shiver down my spine. And it helps me relax. It's my form of peace.
My vision of peace is a room full of people all being able to get along. Everyone smiling and having fun without sadness. A home where a family all join together and sit down to have dinner and just tell about their day. My vision is peace is like being able to walk around outside without being afraid of anyone harming you. Children playing in their backyards and just being able to have fun and smile and not worry about a stranger coming to bother them. Enemies who once didn't get along with one another coming together for the same cause and just uniting with each other and not having any bad things going on around them. And those are my visions of peace.
My vision of peace is about silence.
My definition of peace is no fighting. When you get in an argument, you come to a conclusion of what's going to go down. You don't have to worry about breaking up fights or anybody dodging a bullet. That's my definition of peaceful.
My vision of peace is staying away from negative behavior and negative peers. Also focusing on myself, because when you focus on somebody else, it brings problems that bring more problems, and staying away from and out of trouble.
My vision of peace is staying focused in school, spending more time with my baby, trying to get a job, support him, and trying to be a better mother.
My vision of peace is when no one is around to bother you, when you go to a quiet place to get all your thoughts out. And that's it. I don't know.